I remember a woman telling me one time that she actually wished her husband would hit her because she couldn't prove the emotional abuse. And at least if there was physical abuse, she'd be able to show the bruises. I know that sounds crazy, but I've heard that. Not just from this one, but I've heard that several times. The signs of emotional abuse, only you know what those are. And it's what you tell the world they are, because emotional abuse is like this secret abuse. Because an addict and an alcoholic presents one way to the world, and then they walk in the front door and they present a whole nother way. They're so different to other people, but to the people that love them their most, they're just a whole nother existence. They're like a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. The signs of emotional abuse are your life falling apart because you're staying in a relationship with somebody else who's tearing it apart. If you're being emotionally abused, you can stop that. You are a voluntary hostage, and you can seek professional help. You can bring others into the fold to help you with your loved one who is creating the emotional abuse. Signs of emotional abuse are depression, lack of functioning, codependency, enabling, doing everything you possibly can to avoid the abuse and helping the person who's giving you the abuse feel better, walking on eggshells, just a deer in the headlights mentality. But it's so hard to prove to the outside world. I mean, unfortunately, most of our calls come from a wife who's being emotionally abused by an addiction. And when we try to present it to her in-laws or her spouse's parents, they think she's crazy. It does happen sometimes the husband calls about the wife and it's the same exact thing. And they just don't want anything to do with it. It's like, oh, it's all her fault. We'd understand that and we feel your pain. That's probably the hardest call we get. Is the spouse's in-laws who actually think the spouse is crazy and their son or daughter, the husband or wife of that spouse, doesn't have a problem to the level. And you know why that is? Because not only are they emotionally abusing you, they're painting a negative picture about you to everybody else. So they're not just abusing you at home, they've convinced the world that you're actually the problem and that you're the emotional abuse. It's gaslighting to the exponential power. So rather than look at what are the symptoms of it, you know what they are. You have to address it. You don't have to live this way. I know you want to save your marriage. I know it's the husband or the mother or father of your kids. I get all that. But watch our video on how this affects children. Look at the codependency references. Search the website and look at all of the things that happen to you when you stay in these relationships. If you're being emotionally abused, that's hard to prove to the outside world, and you don't need permission from anybody else who's not there being abused with you. You can take action, and if they don't want to be part of it, then you can walk away and then it becomes their problem. So if you're being emotionally abused, because if you're living with an addict or an alcoholic or somebody with untreated mental health, you're being emotionally abused. When I get calls for 50-something-year-old people living with their parents, that's elder abuse. No matter how you slice it, it's abuse. But the reason why it's hard to prove and nothing can be done because it's voluntary. Nobody's holding you hostage to stay in these relationships. You can get out and you don't have to live this way. If you're in a relationship where it's emotionally abusive, then you need to do something about it and you can make a change.